Welcome back to Avealto Insights. We're excited to have in the Insights booth today Avealto co-founder and CEO Walt Anderson and co-founder and CTO David Chambers. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Walt, first question to you. What is a high altitude platform or HAP?
Well, HAP is a type of aircraft, either an airship or a regular aircraft that flies at above 18,000 meters or around above 60,000 feet. We're using HAPs for telecom purposes. So we've optimized our design to provide telecom services from that altitude, where we can see a coverage area of around 150-mile diameter or 240-kilometer diameter service area.
Okay, David, to you, why build HAPs now? Why is this moment the time?
Well, the idea of HAPs has been around for 20 or 30 years, but it's only really recently that the technologies have caught up with the and produced the required capabilities that we need for a high altitude platform. In the airship game, because we're dealing with lighter than air vehicles rather than fixed wing vehicles, mass is crucial. And now the solar panels, the batteries, the communications payload, and the structure of the vehicle itself are now all light enough to actually provide the kind of performance we need to be able to produce the bandwidth we need for the number of hours a day that's required to produce a commercially viable service.
Walt, let's go back to you. What is the market? Explain the marketplace here, perhaps.
Well, there's a large number of people in the world that don't have access to internet at all, but there are existing markets also where we can provide better quality, lower cost service. One of those, mobile backhaul. Every mobile tower that provides service to your mobile phone links back to a central office to provide connectivity. And some companies want to put these mobile towers in very remote areas where the cost to link those back is too high to be cost effective for their marketing. So we can provide instant on service to a large number of mobile towers in remote areas. The second is satellite maritime operations. Most large ships have satellite connectivity, and in the example of a cargo ship, the satellite monitors the engine operations, the cargo container safety and other things, and the crew also uses it to communicate with their homes and families. And third, direct to home and office. VSAT operators purchase expensive satellite time and then link them directly to places on the earth. We can lower that cost and use the same terminal equipment on the ground to provide a direct link into homes and small offices all over the world.
So David, lots of initiatives in the rearview mirror here in terms of satellites and satellite constellations, and you know, it's not an easy thing to do, right? So how are you de-risking? How is Avealto de-risking the development, the final development of getting the HAPs into the...
Yeah, well, the first thing we did was contract with an American supplier to build a sort of pre-production vehicle. That is just a proof of concept, which would demonstrate features of the autopilot system and the buoyancy control system. We built a 40-foot experimental vehicle, tested it to destruction, and that was phase one, which is now complete. Since then, we've moved all operations to the United Kingdom because we found that there is a viable ecosystem of suppliers in the UK. United Kingdom's the world leader in balloon manufacture. The UK government itself is very supportive of unmanned aerial vehicles. The only other operational UAV in the world is Zephyr, which is was built in the United Kingdom. And so we found that acting as a systems integrator with the active help of the UK government and the European Space Agency, we can actually put together a supplier framework in the United Kingdom for the vehicle, for the batteries, for the telecommunications and payload as well.
So wrapping it up, the first prototype of the HAP will be completed and flown in the coming months. David, your thoughts on getting to that point, and then what the next few years holds for Avealto?
Yes, we're rapidly iterating on the design for what you might call the minimum product, which we're aiming to fly in 2021. And you can in fact see some pictures, some diagrams of that behind me. And following that, there's the opportunities exist for continuous organic growth, because battery innovations continue to flow. Payload, again, big payload mass continues to decline. And of course, solar panels themselves continue to become more and more powerful and efficient. So this means that our vehicles will become progressively more capable over the years. And since we're not satellites, since our vehicles can be returned to base for continuous incremental upgrades, we'll be able to continue to improve our vehicles or move on to second generations in a way that satellites can't, because once a satellite's in orbit, that's it, and it's unreachable for the duration of its lifetime. So I can see over the next decade our vehicles becoming increasingly capable, and maybe possibly spilling out into secondary payloads such as fisheries monitoring, wildfire monitoring, atmospheric monitoring, and so on.
All right, Walt, to you, final words. Prototype of the HAP completed and flown in 2021, and what you see beyond that.
Well, we have customers waiting. If you're offering a product that's better quality, lower cost, it's not that hard to sell. So our challenge is to build that viable commercial vehicle, the first one, and then begin producing many more of them out of our fabrication site in the UK. But we're excited. We're in the final stage of development. We've solved the hard problems, and we believe we're ready to move forward with the final production steps.